morning from 2B. I'm David Osando, the tallest teacher around. How have you been? Is your day good? Okay, today, let's keep quiet, please. Today, I'm going to take you through through climate, topic climate. These are geography topic class, climate. So, uh, climate, what's climate? Kemunto, what's climate? You are right. Climate is the average weather condition of a place over a long period of time, usually 30 to 35 years. What did I say? It's the average weather condition of a place uh, over a long period of time, usually 30 to 35 years. Now, who is 35 years here? The climate of this place. If you want to look at the climate of this place, you have to check for over a long period of time. Weather is a short period of time, but now climate is a long period of time, right? So let us let us now look at factors uh, influencing climate. Factors influencing climate. You just raise up your hand, you tell me what you think are the factors that influence climate. The factor you raise up your hand, you tell me what are the factors that influence climate. Number one, number one, we have latitude. Number one, we have latitude. Let's have the class representative, Madam Leah, to Leah, please. Uh, I want you to tell these guys one factor, and you explain. Yeah, you explain a factor, then your explanation. Factors influencing climate. Uh, you just tell factors influencing climate, then we continue. Thank you, Leah. That is very true. High altitudes. Now we are talking about latitude. High latitudes, we have low temperatures. Low latitudes, we have high temperatures. Why? This is due to the angle at which the sun rays strike the earth and the distance traveled by the sun rays. Now, what's latitudes? Uh, thank you, Kevin. Now we find that if this latitude is 5 degrees east and this is 10 degrees west of the Greenwich meridian, their climate can be different because it influences climate because of the angle of the sun. You see, the earth is round, and the person who discovered the earth is round was Galileo Galilei in the 13th century. And Galileo Galilei, now it's not, I'm not talking about Galileo, but I'm talking about the angle of the sun, how it influences the earth revolves around the sun, and it influences the weather, the climate because of latitudes. Latitude can also influence the rainfall where the sun is overhead, while the northern and southern tropical areas receive rainfall when the sun is position is overhead in this area, right? Thank you. Number two factor, which influence latitude, we have intertropical convergence zone. Intertropical convergence zone. This intertropical convergence zone, ITCZ, is a low pressure belt around the equator. Low pressure belt around the equator, and it influences climate and weather in different ways. Number one, places far away from the equator experience only one rainy season when the sun is overhead, and a long one dry season when the sun is at the southern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere. The then there's the northern hemisphere and there's the southern hemisphere. Now the areas that are farther from the equator experience one rainy season, one dry season, whereby the rainy season is very rainy because the sun is overhead. There, that place, the sun is overhead. And when the sun is at the southern hemisphere, it experiences the dry conditions in that place. Number two, regions near equator have two seasons of heavy rainfall because they experience the passage of the ITCZ. What's ITCZ, Mora? It is a place of low pressure around the low pressure belt around the equator. And we say that ITCZ in full is interconvergence, intertropical convergence zone. Okay, we're going to factor number three. I hope you are writing notes because right now, as you know, when you are in Form 2, you should now be used to write notes because now you see, I see some students, writing notes and tutakosana mbaya sana. Everybody should be very, very serious writing these notes. Number, we have altitude. Altitude influences temperature, whereby low altitude temperature is high, whereby what's your point, Kimani? Kimani, what I was saying is about altitude, how it influences the climate. Areas with high altitude experience cold temperatures, while areas with low altitude experiences high temperatures. Like like if you have gone to Mombasa, the altitude is lower. Therefore, Mombasa uh, experiences some high temperatures because of the altitude. Altitude is the height above sea level. Now, why do you think the in high altitude there is low temperatures and in altitudes there is high temperatures? This is because at high altitude, uh, the number of particles of the number of thickness of atmosphere, the thickness of the atmosphere determining the number of particles to store heat and distance from space where terrestrial radiation is lost. Altitude also influences rainfall, whereby mountains on the path of rain winds receive orographic rainfall, and the windward slopes receive heavier rainfall than the leeward slopes. Uh, Point number four, distance from the sea. Distance from the sea influences climate. How? It influences temperatures, whereby places in temperate regions near the sea experience low temperature. During summer, they experience low temperatures. Onshore winds blowing over the cold ocean water and taking of cooling influence on adjacent land because the water is heated at a slower rate than the land. Places near to the sea experience high temperatures during winter or during the cold season due to sea breeze, which carries warmer air to the land and loses water heat at a slower rate than the land. Temperatures in the interior of the continent tend to be high in summer and very low in winter due to lack of marine influence. So distance from the sea influences climate greatly. It also the distance from the sea also influences rainfall, whereby coastal regions receive a lot of rain when the winds are onshore, and the continental interiors receive less rain, mainly in summer, because onshore winds have dropped. Most, most of moisture has gone along the way. Most of moisture. The the fifth the fifth factor influencing climate is ocean current. Ocean current influences temperatures, whereby coasts which are washed by warm ocean currents. Uh, After this, those who are talking at the back there, they are going to tell me about warm ocean current and cold examples of ocean currents which are warm and cold ocean currents. Now, ocean currents influence temperature, whereby coasts which are washed by warm ocean currents are warmer, while those washed by cold ocean currents are cooler due to the onshore winds being either warmed or cooled, and then taking the warmth or coolness to the land. Number two, currents. How do they influence climate? It influences climates whereby coasts washed by warm ocean currents receive heavy rainfall, while the opposite, those who are washed by the cold currents, hold on moisture, hence receive low rainfall. Like example, in say the ocean currents in Somalia, it's that's why Somalia receives less rainfall. The coast washed by cold ocean currents, on the other hand, experience l- low rainfall as a result of moist winds being cool and moisture in them, resulting in rain falling over the ocean. Uh, Example of the ocean currents at the south West Africa. Is it Agulhas ocean current, where uh, that's why there is Kalahari and Namib deserts there. This is the cause of the cause of the influence of ocean currents on climate of a particular place. Point number six, which influence the climate of a place, is aspect. I hope everybody is writing the notes. How do aspect influence the the climate of a place? Direction of the slope in relation to sunlight and the rain-bearing wind. Its effect on temperature is more pronounced in the northern and southern hemisphere. In the north and south hemisphere, the slopes facing the sun are warmer, while those facing away are cooler. Like this school is situated in the slope facing the sun. So here we find it's warmer than the other back of the slope, which does not face the sun. The slopes in the direction of rain winds, that's windward slopes, receive heavier rainfall than the leeward side. Let's go to wind and air masses. Wind and air masses. Wind blowing, that's another factor. Wind and air masses. Wind blowing from warms the region passing over. And wind blowing from cool region cools the region is passing over. Sea breezes takes cooling effects on land during hot afternoon. During afternoon, like the other day, I was in Malindi, and there was a certain breeze at the afternoon. You feel like it's very some breeze, and that is it cools the afternoon. That is wind influence on climate. Katabatic winds causes low night temperatures on valleys and the foot of the mountains. In the Alps are the fall mountains in in Europe, and the Rockies, the fall mountains also in South America. The Fawn and Chinook, which are descending dry winds, take dryness to the lower sides of those mountains, so making those sides of the mountains to be cool yet very dry. Wind influence in rainfall in the following ways. Moisture laden winds, causes heavy rainfall. If that wind carries a lot amount of moisture, that it causes heavy rains. Anabatic winds cause afternoon showers on the mountainous regions. Another point, persistent dry winds cause desert-like conditions in areas where they pass, e.g. the Harmattan winds from Sahara, which blow over West Africa. The Harmattan winds, they are very they don't have that moisture. They are very dry winds, and they cause dry conditions, which lead to Sahara Desert in the northern part of Africa to the western part of West Africa. Regions around large water bodies experience high rainfall because of the effect of land breezes. Like the regions are around Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, they experience high rainfall because of those winds. Another point that influences the climate, configuration of the coastline. Coastal regions across the path of moisture, laden winds receive high rainfall because wind deposits moisture on land. Example, in Mombasa, while those lying parallel to the path of those winds receive less rainfall because of example of the where the moisture laden winds pass through is Mombasa. Thus, therefore, it receives high rainfall. But in Lamu, winds the winds that pass through Lamu makes it receive less rainfall because of the moisture deposited there is very low. Another factor that influences climate is forests. Forested areas experience microclimate, whereby temperature is lower due to the shades of the trees, reducing solar insolation reaching the ground. Example is it's in my home there. In my home at Nyangweta Forest there, we find that there is cool climate there because the amount of trees there and the forested area there makes the temperatures to be lower due to shades of the trees. Rainfall is heavier due to high rate of evapotranspiration between trees and rain-bearing winds. Human activities also influence climate. How? How do they influence climate? Uh, Man has caused deforestation. In this process of creating room for settlement and agriculture, causes drop in rainfall amounts leading to semi-arid conditions. Like now in Aberdeas, I saw the other day in television, eh, I saw Aberdeas people cutting trees, and the government is very quiet. This this makes this over time climate. We say climate is a condition, average weather condition of a place over a long period of time, usually 30 to 35 years. Now, in some years to come, we'll find that that place has now started becoming semi-arid. Uh, Man also from industries, maybe, or from burning fossil fuels, uh, emits gases, especially the chlorofluorocarbons, mm, uh, the carbon dioxide, which now destroys the ozone layer. It brings global warming through greenhouse effects, and this makes the world uh, hotter, and it makes the world not a safe place to be. That is now over when we talk about the factors influencing climate. Uh, we, s- can you tell me, can you tell me those factors influencing? I'm going to choose the factors. You just state these factors, then somebody else will explain. I'm taking let Whitney tell us. Whitney tell us the those factors. Yeah. We have latitude, intertropical convergence zone, altitude, distance from the sea, ocean currents, aspect, wind and air masses, configuration of coastline, forests, and human activities. Now, I'm going to take you through. I'm going to take you the through. I'm going to take you now through the climatic regions of Kenya. Yeah, yeah. Climate regions of Kenya. We have look at everybody. Look at uh, your textbook, page 48. Look at that map there. Today, I want everybody to go and look for an atlas and look at that map of Kenya, the climatic regions of Kenya. We have the modified equatorial, that is the southern part of Kenya. We have also the tropical continental, that that takes a lot, the bigger part of Kenya, the central one, the from the north, that is tropical continental. We have modified tropical, in you see in areas of around Eldoret. We have also desert climate in part of the northeastern part of Kenya. Look at that map well. Now we are going to look at these each: modified equatorial, modified tropical, tropical continental, tropical northern, and desert. We are going to look at the climate, those climatic regions. Um, Let us start with modified equatorial climate. This modified equatorial climate is experienced along the coast from the Somalia Tanzanian border and Lake Victoria basin around the lake. What are the characteristics of modified equatorial climate? Number one, high temperatures throughout the year. Mean annual about 27 degrees Celsius. So that means temperatures, the mean temperatures are annually are very high. 27 degrees Celsius is high. Number two, you have small mean annual range of temperatures of about 4 degrees Celsius. Small mean. So it just ranges at 4 degrees, 27, 26, 25, 28, 29. It ranges there. Hottest months are December and January. These are the hottest months where this temperature, this climate is experienced, the modified equatorial climate. It experiences rainfall throughout the year, except those two months, December and January, where the so we say there's no real dry season when it experiences temperatures like throughout the year. Uh, it also have double maxima, rainfall maxima. That means it has two rainy seasons, May and October. The farmers go to plant in May, and again they wait to October and they go to plant again. There's also high humidity due to high temperatures. These temperatures, how do they cause high humidity? They causes high humidity because they causes the rates of evaporation, and they causes high evaporation rates, and its nearness to the sea, because you said it ranges from the coast to the border of Tanzanian border, then up to Lake Victoria. You see that those water bodies, we have Indian Ocean, Lake Magadi, and Lake Victoria there in that region. Number two, we have the Lake Victoria Basin. This climate, this has characteristics of temperatures being lower than the true equatorial climate. Why? Some who can tell me why? The person who is going to tell me why at breakfast, I'm going to give him some something to buy for breakfast. Yes, yes, Kevin. Yeah, that's very true. It's because of the influence of the lake. The lake modifies the climate, therefore making temperatures lower than the true equatorial climate. So the mean annual range ranges between 22 to 22 to 26 degrees Celsius. There is no real dry months. Heavy rainfall ranging from 1,000 to 6,000 millimeters. Double rainfall maxima regime. Then we have dry convectional type of rainfall, which falls mainly in the afternoon. This convection rainfall is like the one that rained here yesterday. It very heavy and very, you see there's thunderstorm, and sometimes there is what we call those rain those the rain that has the hailstones, which rained here yesterday. There is also high relative humidity due to high temperatures and nearness to lake, which is a source of moisture. High relative humidity due to high temperatures and nearness to the lake, which is a source of moisture. We also have modified tropical climate. Modified tropical climate. It is experienced in central highlands of eastern, western, and Rift Valley. Characteristics of the modified tropical climate. Number one, mean annual temperatures averages between 17 to 24 degrees centigrade. Number two, lower, warmer slopes and cooler, higher slopes due to modification of the altitude. Number three, receives rainfall throughout the year, 1,000 to 200 millimeters. That's very high rainfall. And double maximum rainfall in eastern highlands and single maximum in western highlands. Humidity is moderate. Now the Kisii Highlands lie in this a modified tropical climate. We have tropical continental climate. That's desert conditions experienced in about half of Kenya, in most northeastern parts of Kenya. Their characteristics include it have high temperatures throughout the year, which with mean between 22 degrees and 27 degrees Celsius. Generally, dry with less than 500 millimeters of unreliable rainfall. You cannot rely on these rainfall maybe for farming, for water, for irrigation, for it's very low. 500 degrees, 500 millimeters uh, unreliable and throughout the year. That's very, very low. Large dune or range of temperature, like large dune or range. That means the temperatures are very hot at during the day, midday, and drops very low during the night. For example, if the temperature was maybe 35 degrees at Sasta Mchana, then in the evening, temperature drops very low, up to even 80 degrees centigrade at the night. That is large lunar range of temperature, and the skies are generally clear. The in that climate of continental climate or desert climate. Also, there is low humidity uh, in these areas because there is literally no moisture, no trees, no vegetation, making the humidity to be very low. We have also tropical climate. Now the tropical climate, it is experienced in Narok, Taita Taveta, and Kwale region. Characteristics: high temperatures, mean annual temperature of 16 to 16, maybe, yeah, mean is 16.5 degrees Celsius. Temperature is modified by relief in some areas, e.g. in Loita, Taita, and Narok, making it suitable for human habitation. I see I've seen my friend Lemayan from Narok. He comes from in their area. The climate is tropical climate. That's why it's good uh, for human habitation, and they keep large herds of cattle. We have also tropical northern climate. Tropical northern climate. This now this now desert. It has high temperature. It's northwestern part of Kenya bordering Uganda. No, tropical northern climate. Temperatures are modified in some places by altitude. The no, the nomad communities mostly they operate in these climates mostly. There is low mean annual rainfall of about 850 millimeters. Rain falls mainly in June and September. In June and September. Experiences a long dry season of 6 months. It's also experienced in Chalbi Desert in northeastern Kenya and Karoli deserts. Those are small deserts here in Kenya, Chalbi deserts. When we'll be going for a geographical trip in November, we as a class will go there and see those deserts. We'll see Mount Longonot, then we go to Chalbi Desert and see how the desert is. Uh, Now we have equatorial climate. Before before I take you through the world climatic regions, now we have these were climatic regions in Kenya, and I want everybody, as I said earlier, to go and look for an atlas and see what is that map, so that tomorrow when I'm going to ask questions, everybody will be telling me. I'll be asking questions, and also I'll give a test in our geography lesson on Thursday. It will be a test. So everybody go and look at your atlas, see the climatic regions in Kenya and how they are modified. Yeah, Now, yeah, the topic we are going to from the next class. After, I've told you to look at the 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 atlas now, and there is a test. So we are going to look at world climatic regions from the next lesson when we'll meet. Hot climates, warm climates, cool climates, very cold climates, mountains climates, and micro or local climates. Hot climates, warm climates, cool climates, very cold climates, mountain climates, and micro stroke local climates. That what we are going to look from the next class. So class, what have we learned today? Today we have learned about the topic called climate. What is climate? What's climate? Gutwa at the back of the class, tell us what's climate? Yes, it's the average weather condition of a place over a long period of time, usually 30 to 35 years. We looked at the factors influencing climates. There are many factors. Everybody is going to give me one, then explanation. During exams, make sure you explain very well. I'm going to explain, I've explained well everything. So at exam time, you just explain very well, and you will get your marks. We have, give us this row. This row give us these six of you. Everybody one point. We have latitude, intertropical convergence zone, yeah, altitude. Yeah, remember we have latitude and altitude, correct? Distance from the sea, aspect, winds and air masses, human activities, forests, yeah. Make sure you explain well. Also, we have looked at the climatic regions of Kenya, the modified equatorial, modified tropical, continental, tropical northern, and the desert climatic regions here in Kenya. And I said the next time we are going to look at the world uh, climatic regions. Now, uh, you are you will be giving characteristics of every topic. W- when the test I'm going to bring you on Thursday, I want a clear illustration. If I tell you, give me the conditions of desert, the desert characteristics of desert climatic region in Kenya, just write write it in point form, very clear, and you will get your marks. So also we will remember to study, because we have the the exam from next month, and these exams are very crucial. Geography is an interesting subject, and we are going to choose. If you are going to choose geography in form 3 to form 4, you should be able to get very high marks here. You should be able to get very high marks here in form 2, so that in third term you are going to choose geography as because it's a very good subject. And if you are going to choose, make sure you are very sure that you are going to score an A plane in the KCSE exam. Um, thank you very much. Our lesson ends here. Thank you very much.